us begin.
Chapter 1 The Celestial Duo. Our story begins a very, very long time ago with a young girl. One day, this girl spotted a rusted spaceship holding a small star child. "What's your name? Are you lost?" the girl asked the star child. "I'm Luma, and I'm waiting for Mama. She's coming for me on a comet," said the star child who had been waiting day and night. "Don't worry, I'll wait with you," the little girl promised Luma. At nightfall, the little girl borrowed her father's telescope and peered into the sky. She looked and looked, but she saw nothing. Hours turned into days and then years, but still the sky revealed nothing. Finally, the little girl sighed and said to Luma, "If we stay here looking much longer, I'll be an old lady soon." But then she had an idea. "Why don't we go out there and find your mother ourselves?" The girl and Luma fixed up the rusty spaceship, and then the two set sail into the starry sky. And this is how the search for the Celestial Mother began. Chapter 2 Starbits. Days passed with no sight of the comet, or even a single planet. Instead, asteroids extended for as far as the eye could see. "If I had known it was going to take this long, I would have packed more jam," said the little girl above the rumble of her belly. Before they left, she had packed all the essentials: telescope, butterfly net, stuffed bunny, bread, milk, jam, and apricot-flavored tea, but "I forgot to bring water." At this, Luma burst into gales of laughter, and the girl began to pout. "As long as I have starbits, I'll be fine," said Luma. "Want some?" The little girl couldn't stay mad after hearing this. Luma continued to laugh, and the girl couldn't help but join in. "Alright, maybe just a nibble." Leaning far out of the ship, the pair began to collect starbits with the girl's net. They almost fell out a few times, but they kept on collecting. The starbits tasted like honey. Chapter 3 The Comet. A beam of light pierced through the ship's window. Thinking it was the morning sun, the girl peered through the window only to find a turquoise-blue comet shimmering at her. The little girl shook the sleeping Luma awake and shouted excitedly, "We have to get to that comet." The pair descended on the comet and found that it was made of ice. They looked high and low, but Luma's mother was nowhere to be found. Exhausted, the little girl sat down with a flop, utterly unable to take another step. Look! Peering down at the icy ground where Luma was pointing, the girl suddenly noticed clusters of starbits encased in the ice. "Pretty good, huh? Finding starbits is my specialty," said Luma, beaming. "There's ice here, but it's so warm. I bet there's water here too." The two decided to stay on the comet for a while. Riding the turquoise comet, the pair continued their search for Luma's mother. Chapter 4 The Dream. One night, the girl dreamed about her own mother. "Where are you going?" she asked her mother's retreating back. Without turning, her mother replied, "Don't fret, dearest. I'm not going anywhere. I'm always watching over you like the sun in the day, and the moon in the night. A wave of sadness washed over the girl. What about when it rains and I can't see the sun or the moon? Her mother thought for a moment before responding. I will turn into a star in the clouds and wait for your tears to dry. When she awoke, the girl's face was damp with tears. You have starbits in your eyes, said Luma to the girl. Wiping her face, the girl replied, These are tears, not starbits. I'm crying because I'll never see my mother ever again. At this, Luma began to cry too. Mama. Oh, Mama. The pair traveled through the starry skies, and though they encountered many other comets, not one of them held Luma's mother. Luma was despondent. Now, Luma. The rain clouds won't go away if you keep crying, the girl said, giving Luma a squeeze. I'll give you a present if you stop. The girl closed her eyes and said gently, I'll take care of you. With these words, she felt a small spark in her heart. Chapter 5. Home. The kitchen will go here, and the library will go over there, the girl said busily to herself. We'll put the gate here. Ever since the girl took Luma under her care, she'd been bustling about at a feverish pace. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it to make a happy home. It turned out that starbits weren't the only things buried in the ice. They were tools and furniture unlike any they had ever seen, and the girl used them to build a home. Looking at the completed house, Luma remarked, Do you think it's awfully big just for the two of us? Without a library, bedroom and kitchen, fountain and gate, it was certainly spacious, but still, something seemed to be missing. If only my father, brother, and mother were here, the girl said wistfully. Indeed, the house was too large for its two small residents. That night, clutching her favorite stuffed bunny close to her heart, the girl fell asleep in the starship. Chapter 6. Friends. Then one day, while the girl sat, sipping tea, a tiny apricot-colored planet appeared on the horizon. From the planet, another Luma of the same color emerged. Do you two know each other? The girl asked the two Lumas, gleefully. Despite the girl's excitement, they seemed uneasy. The two Lumas neither drew closer nor backed away from each other. Instead, they just stared. Then one Luma broke the silence. My mama. At once, the apricot Luma parroted back. My mama. My mama. My mama. My mama. The two Lumas began to dance around the girl frantically, and neither showed any sign of stopping. The girl was so charmed by this adorable scene that she couldn't help but laugh, and that's when something very strange happened. Suddenly, more Lumas began to pop out from the apricot planet. They were different colors, but they all shouted the same thing. My mama. My mama. The sight of all the shouting Lumas only made the girl laugh harder. What am I going to do with all these children? The Lumas just stared blankly as she doubled over laughing. I guess we'll have to name each and every one of you. Tomorrow, once she had finished naming them all, she would begin moving all the Lumas into the new house. Chapter 7. The Telescope. After seeing their 100th comet, a sudden thought popped into the girl's head. I wonder if my home planet is still as blue as it was. That's when she remembered her father's telescope. Peeking into the telescope, a tiny blue dot floated into sight. It was smaller than a star bit. How strange. It's so far away, but it feels so close. She twisted the knob of the telescope, and the blue dot grew until she could make out a grassy hill dotted with flowers. It seemed very familiar to her. Zooming even closer, a terrace on the hill came into view. I used to go stargazing there when I lived on my home planet. She remembered rubbing the sleep out of her eyes as she followed her father up that hill to look at the stars. She remembered how her and her brother would sled down that hill. She remembered having picnics with her mother on that hill on bright and windy days. And I want to go home. I want to go home right now. The girl burst into tears, and the Lumas didn't know what to do. I want to go home. I want to go back to my house by the hill. I want to see my mother. The girl was shouting now, her face wet with tears. But I know she's not there. I knew all along that she wasn't out there in the sky. Because... She's sleeping under the tree on the hill. The girl's cries echoed through the stars, and a hush fell over the area. That should do it for today. Yeah, like 7 chapters in this storybook, I gotta say, it has been an impressive story so far, and it is just touching to the human heartstrings, I swear. But if you want to go back in here and reread of, what you just read through, you can always go through into the library and open up this book. But the aesthetic of this room just gives me a lot to say about the observatory. It's not just, designed to travel to comets, go to the center of the universe. It's a habitat. It's a dwelling for humans, even Lumas, for everyone. Even Italian plumbers who wear red and blue and green and have nothing better to do than, go gather stars within the universe. But it is just incredible what this game just put into motion. Just the dialogue behind the storybook gave me so much insight to what it is to play a game like this. It's incredible. By the way, I'm just going to say one thing about the movie. If you have not seen the Mario Galaxy movie yet, skip to this time code right now. This is like the one opportunity that I'm going to give. I can't even English. I'm reaching out to everybody, those who have seen the movie, those who haven't. So I'm thinking about, the audience that has not yet seen the movie. So if you have not yet seen the movie, go ahead and skip to this time code to avoid all spoilers. Here it goes. Yeah, while Mario kind of zonks out, I may as well talk about my own story of, how I've seen the movie. So, we see in the storybook how Luma and Rosalina, chill back, Mario, how they go into the gateway and build their dwelling. That was the same kind of aspect that they had in the Mario Galaxy movie, except at the end, they were not building a dwelling on the Gateway Galaxy. They were rebuilding Peach's castle. So, you kind of, get the insight of them finding tools, furniture, all that good stuff to build things with, except they had, pickaxes and helmets and construction tools at the end of the movie when Peach's castle yet fell off at the cliff, and they had no choice but at the end to rebuild it for Peach after defeating Bowser and Bowser Jr. But that's not exactly what they went with here, and I gotta, again, applaud Illumination for not carbon copying the game. I'm sure everybody would want that, but You know, carbon copying is a thing that we're not always going to get, and, you know, I have to give credit for Illumination for coming up with their own ideas and not being completely parallel with a game that has already been out for this long, 19 years, give it. But that's just one thing that I wanted to say. Okay, you done? Alright. I really didn't want to spoil that, and, you know, even for anybody who's not seen the movie, if you watched that, you know, sentence anyway, good for you. If you really don't have any, if you just don't have any problems with spoilers at all, I'm glad you were, you know, able to be willing to listen on that as well, so no shame in it. Alright, since we have cleared up Dreadnought in the last episode, we can head right back into the garden and find out what's up. We have one more galaxy to go, let alone one more Hungry Luma mission. Just chilling outside of the garden that's gonna, you know, pop up at some point, but not right now because it hasn't happened yet. Back into the garden. So we're going into the garden. Alright. Polari, I don't think, has any more dialogue at this point. He's just always the same no matter what. I really doubt that he's even aware of how many stars we have right now, that is. But, alright. Everything else is done. Melty Molten, here we come. Man, lava levels are just literally peak when it comes to Mario games specifically. Not even just Galaxy, but really anyone. Any level in any game whatsoever. But we're going into the sinking lava spire. I'm going to shut up. It's been a while since I've done a Galaxy and just, you know, not talked over the main theme. But sit back and enjoy some music. Yeah, literally, just this game's OST, when it comes to lava levels, is literally amazing. Just genius, chef's kiss, right? I'm sure that the, you know, composers at Nintendo were just kind of chilling back, having lunch, and just, you know, that's just very, it's just a very human thing to do, right? With your partners and your coworkers and all that good stuff. To just sit back and discuss ideas, no matter what you're currently doing. You can just be having dinner and just, you know, talk about, hey, that's what I'm gonna write for music. Let's put that in. And that they did. And I cannot blame them for, you know, whatever planning that they did, no matter how casual or non-casual it was. Just chef's kiss. Chef's kiss, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Man, it just gives so much spacey vibes, just go into the universe, and those little alien sounds that you hear in the music is just, ugh. It's like a back crack, a satisfying back crack, or just a dopamine hit that I can't exactly put my finger on. But, man, that's one mission in Melty Molten. It's been forever since, you know, Dusty Dune, since we had a level where you had to rise to the very bottom or top to get the star, because, you know, time rush. Time rushes are pretty good in Mario levels, no matter which kind of design it is. Sand, desert, lava, doesn't matter. 99. Man, we're gonna hit the big 100. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for this monstrosity. Alright. A Hungry Luma mission did appear just now. We're not going to go ahead and feed him yet, because he can wait. Back to Melty Molten. We have a number of levels to do, so if you're not willing to chill back and watch the entire episode, we're just going to knock out the entirety of Melty Molten here, through the Meteor Storm. This is a rather challenging galaxy, as opposed to everything else. I can understand why they put it in the final dome in the garden. But it's meant to be fulfilling and challenging. Just saying. Because if you've survived thus far of the entire game and expected nothing else than to be challenged, then you're kind of sorely mistaken. Nintendo's just like saying, hey, quit trying to break us. It's just not going to work. So long jump here. And the idea now is to get this little dude to follow you and light these torches for you. I can understand why a lot of people would probably, you know, look for a fire flower and then try to light those, because that has been the case in Deep Dark. But it's not here. It kind of... This is like the one galaxy. I know that I talk about lava levels a lot, but it's one of those things that I just like to point out about a galaxy that makes you use all of your knowledge that you've obtained thus far and, you know, utilize it. I don't like this spot because you have to literally hide away from these meteors, or whatever you want to call them. I can't think when I'm under pressure like this. Alright. So just go ahead and hide there. And jump! There we go. You have to really, really time that up. It's just not a fun thing to do. You gotta be very, very, you know, judicious on how you jump and maneuver. Pardon my French, I fucked that up a lot. I'm trying to keep this project G-rated as possible, but if I gotta be blunt about something, I will. But, just saying. I'm being my genuine self. Just forgive me. If you like the bad words, say it. It's fine. Honestly, I'm kidding. It's fine. One more pulse or mock star piece is right here in the box. And of course, we gotta go all the way back. I don't like it. I didn't like it, Daddy. Okay, enough. I didn't like it. I didn't like it, Daddy. Okay, this planet is... no. Alright, I'm gonna talk about this now, and I hope that it gives me a checkpoint if I just happen to die on this planet. It's a bullet bill planet. You gotta have, like, the tip of it. You gotta get the bullet bill from the tip. I will not say that again. And have it follow you all the way. And if you gotta do triple jumps, all that good stuff. Ugh! I hate this stuff. Okay. Go back. It's fine. We can make it happen. Can we kill these guys? You can, but the thing is, it would take forever, and getting the bullet bills is just, you know, a trial enough as it is. So I'm just gonna leave these guys alive. Maybe the bullet bill will do me odd favors and kill these guys for me, but he just might explode on his own, if that's the case. Okay. Okay, not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Again, when I play this game just willy-nilly, not recording, it sucks. It sucks, but, you know what, I'm not even gonna celebrate until I get to the end of this level. Okay. Just chilling our way across. Uh-huh. It's been a hot minute since I've even, you know, rode on this ball. I gotta say, as much as I love the Wii version, this is like a lot better than the Wii in most cases. Because you just have much more trajectory control with the Joy-Con. And I gotta say, like, with it being remastered for the Switch, it is just a magical experience. It's just a game changer when you roll across this terrain. As soon as I say that, I fall off. Okay. Alright. Take 2. Okay. There's a 1-up at least. Can we shoot for it? There we go. Right, give a good launch off. I mean, there's a shortcut at least. And I just willy-nillied my way between 2 meteors. That is beyond shocking. Here I am talking about how good the controls are on the Switch. And here I am just, you know, rocking it off. Anyway. As much as I love Galaxy, if you're an advanced player, that little small platform right there is, you know, good for you. Honestly, just to make time more productive, I'm just gonna jump on the big one. Alright. And we got a star down. Awesome. Man, you didn't really get to 100 stars. I wanted to stay in 2 digits forever. It's fine. Going back to it. Oh, okay. Flipping course, we got a Daredevil. We may as well get this over with now, right? Just to say that we did. It's the last Daredevil mission in the game. Let's do it. What do we got? I honestly was not expecting it to come this soon, but with the fact that we're here now, Lava Spire, Daredevil Run. Can't think of a better name for that mission. You know, this is the same terrain that they've showed us in the very first star climbing the Lava Spire. I don't see why it's any different now. You gotta show me the same scene. But honestly, I'm not even gonna argue with cinematics, because cinematics are golden. Alright. This music is just swelling over me. I got this. And if anybody knows me at all, if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. I'm not a big flippin' fan of Daredevils when it comes to just when you're on a timer. I mean, not on a game timer, but you know, when your clock is adding up on your recorder. This could take forever, or it can just take, you know, on the first try. That is. I just keep thinking about the future. Where that Hungry Luma is not here, and that's, believe it or not, the secret star. Great. What else would you expect out of a, you know, a star? Waiting for that. Okay. Oh my god! It was a close shave. I was gonna say it was a close shave, but no, I got hit anyway. Give me a minute. You know, I'm realizing something. It's just a pattern of, you know, just superstition. If I'm lucky enough to, you know, survive and just get through here without any issues, great. I'm just gonna wait for this meteor to chill past me. Okay, great. Okay. Okay, that went smoother than expected, but I don't want to celebrate yet. You know, I have a feeling that I'm probably not going to finish the entire galaxy in this episode. I could be a hero and just resume Melty Molten in the next one, along with the Hungry Luma mission and Center of the Universe. And then the last 2 chapters of the storybook might come right after. I probably might include those in a secondary bonus episode when I'm doing Purple Coin missions. I was not paying attention there. Okay. I'm not liking this. I keep forgetting I'm in a Daredevil mission here. Okay. I got this. Hey, you got this. Where's the last piece? Get me off of this planet. Okay. Alright. Jump! Get away! I was so close to touching fire there. I'm literally playing with a hot stove. Okay. Up on across. Sorry for my silence. It is just taken over, isn't it? Okay. Good. A lot of my, my noises that you're gonna hear when I'm, in a fix or, in a Daredevil like this is just mostly constipated sounds, so you'll have to forgive me on that. Mario Galaxy does not play around with Daredevils. Okay. Jump. We got this. We're good. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're all good. Ah, no! 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 That did not just happen. Crud. Oh my gosh, that was freaking terrible. That really sucks. That really sucks. I'll be right back. You know, when you have like almost 600 star bits before getting a star in a Daredevil, you know it's probably just the hardest Daredevil mission ever in a Mario Galaxy game, let alone the perfect run from Mario Galaxy 2. This is just taking the cake at this point. But man, I will include some of my fails in there, but honestly, man, that just shook my day, shook my evening. But I guess I have no choice but to continue Melty Molten in the next episode, because this just kind of ate up the time, honestly. Alright, with that said, we have the Hungry Luma mission unlocked. Well, we still have to feed him, but still. With that, we can probably finish up Melty Molten, do this mission, and finish up the game in the next episode. It all just depends on how time does with us. But with that, stay tuned, subscribe, like, comment, or anything else, and peace out, everyone.